We showed you images just a moment ago of the second session that's happening at the Bharat Mandapam. We'll reflect those in just a minute from now to show you that the Prime Minister has already begun leading that session. So work is on at the Bharat Mandapam as we speak. But while we're on the subject of Rishi and Akshata, I also wanted to welcome onto our coverage Chef Kunal Kapoor. He's a very well-known chef, celebrity chef, TV personality, and he's someone who actually cooked a lot of wonderful dishes, including some millet dishes for the First Ladies, including Akshata Murthy yesterday. Chef Kunal, good to have you. Good to see you as well. Interesting and important time for India, for Delhi, for persons like you who've had a chance to, meet with all these great people and them to meet you and vice versa. What was it like yesterday? Tell us about that what you cooked. What was it like interacting, with the first partners of all these world leaders?
Thank you so much. Very good morning to everybody. And I think India hosting G20 is massive, huge. And there are world leaders, big people who are taking some very important decisions. And, as a small little individual, I think I was blessed with an opportunity to cook and showcase my India through my food. And that's my little way of contributing to the larger pot. I think it was a very exciting moment because you're connecting with the better halves of the world leaders. And they actually hold the power, not them in many ways. But I think what I found interesting is that no matter who you meet, whether it was Akshata or whether it was the First Lady of Turkey or Mauritius or Japan, everybody had, and there's a language barrier, many wouldn't understand and they're interpreters, but food does not need a language. The expressions of satisfaction of good tasting food, you capture like that. And that's the biggest reward for any chef like me. Especially with Akshata ji, when she was tasting her first bite, she just rolled her eyes and said, wow, that's the best warm homecoming I could get. This is the khichdi that I knew of, and this is a different version of it.
What did you feed them, Kunal? What did you feed them? What were the things that you fed them?
So, very interesting. We've heard of khichdi, but khichda is the lesser known because that's a predecessor to a khichdi actually, where khichda was always made with broken millets, some meat and some dal. Right. And that is the porridge was called a khichda, from where possibly the khichdi came, the vegetarian version. I did the similar khichda, but it was pure vegetarian. In order to have some nice strong flavors, I used some very interesting mushrooms, the regular button mushrooms that you get, shiitake, enoki, chanterelles, and a variety of other mushrooms. Very interestingly, all of these mushrooms, these are all international mushrooms, but they're all grown around Delhi NCR. So you kind of created an international, my effort was to create a nice impact on them that, hey, we are deep-rooted in our culture, but we're very aware of what's happening around the world through a humble dish. And all of these mushrooms and millets were flown in, not from any other country, but very close to Delhi, which is Manesar, from farms. So there is a certain sense of, carbon footprint that you're lowering, which you want to highlight through your food. There is sustainability. There is about getting more prosperity, economic growth for the Indian farmer as well. So that's what the mixed message that I tried to do with my team to the First Lady.
Oh, there's an amazing message. And the choice of millets has an amazing message for sustainability, clean earth, like you said, economic prosperity, because millets grow, in India specifically, and there is an effort being made to make millets, a greater food across different parts of the world. But Chef Kunal, as a chef, and you've cooked all over the world in the best places, in the fanciest restaurants, and you're used to dealing with very, very expensive ingredients, I'm sure. What's it like dealing with millets? Because millets is, for most people, there's also a learning curve. People have to be introduced to millets gently. They can be told about all the benefits of it. Yes, less inflammation. It helps with diabetes. It's better than gluten, etc., etc. But what's it like for someone like you who's otherwise sometimes deals with very, very fancy, expensive, rare ingredients? getting into millets?
I think millets have been the backbone and the mainstay of Indians, especially Indians living in rural India. And if you were to just go onto the internet now and type varieties of millets, the internet will throw about 9, maximum 10 varieties. You'll be surprised to know more than 10, almost 12, 15, 20 varieties, different varieties of millets exist only in India, and they have been consuming we have been consuming them in different parts, and especially if you talk about certain tribals, they are totally dependent upon millets. And when I say millets, not rice or wheat, because they are also millets, but other millets are lesser known. So it's always been the backbone of our food and culture. And what happens is, like you just mentioned, cooking with expensive ingredients. Yes, it's fun for a chef. You sometimes throw your weight around that I've cooked with this, and this particular thing is gold plated with this and this. But when you remove the layers really of any dish, I think the prime importance is not presentation. The prime importance is not taste. It's nutrition. You have food first for nutrition, then taste, and then presentation always. So here's something nutritious. Here's something that I've made an effort to make it very tasty and make it more and more palatable to the mass, to please the mass appeal. And that's the thing with millets, where a lot of people think that, millets, I don't know what it is. I think jowar bajra hoga. And they kind of ends there. And they're like, it is something healthy. So I feel that there is still an opportunity for every one of us to widen that little entry into the market that we've got with millets, and educate people and say, show them.
And with people like you, Chef Kunal, I'm sure that the gateway into using millets, eating millets is going to be a whole lot easier, because they're going to see people like you making it, and they say, Chef Kunal couldn't possibly make something that is only nutritious. It also must be delicious, and I'm sure it looks fabulous. And if any of those pictures are anything to go by, I'm sure hundreds of thousands more people are going to be embracing millets. I thank you, Chef Kunal.
What can I say? I am very proud to be an Indian.
Yes.
Sorry. I'm saying,
yes.
All I can say is I'm proud to be Indian. I'm very proud to cook something which is purely 100% Indian. And that really brings a very genuine joy to my heart, being a chef.
We salute you. Hope to taste some of your dishes one day as well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us.
Okay. Thank you so much. Have a very lovely day.
You too. Thanks very much, Chef.